So today we're with Muscles, aka Alex, and he's going to strip down a EJ25. What's going on then, Alex?
First of all, take the crank pulley bar out. Sure we're doing here, when we strip them we check the timing first, so obviously you want to check that sort of thing.
This one's going to round off. What's the plan of attack here then?
So a common thing with these, they do round off sometimes, so what you'll have to do is just drill out the bolt a little bit, just past like the shoulder, and then it'll relieve the pressure, and then hopefully if you don't round it off too much you can still get on there with a socket and get it off.
Lovely.
See there, it's obviously rounding off already a little bit, so we don't want to go too far.
So we're working our drill bits up in size up until 10 mil. Then goes, what size is this?
This is a 5.5.
Right, 5.5 going in.
Drilled out the cam pulley bolts here. The reason we do that is because we can't just hammer a bit in, much as it'd be a lot easier and quicker, because obviously the camshafts are hard and you could damage the camshafts that way, so you've got to drill them out and relieve the pressure that way.
Super job!
For braking. we'll do is we'll take the modine off now, and then we can spin back around, take off all the sort of bits associated with the head here. Then we can take the rock covers off, if you want to call them that, and then get to the cams, take the cams out, and then crack the head bolts off. Now we've undone the head bolts, what we've got to do as a precaution is put the cams back in, just to make sure that our buckets don't fall out when we do the other side. So now we've obviously taken the head off, we've got access to the head gasket. We can see it's blowing here. Not uncommon for a Subaru, obviously. Give it a wipe. Yeah, it's definitely blowing a bit there as well. There you go. So over to the right side now, we can see again it's blowing slightly, not as bad as the other side, but still blowing. Now the sump's off, what we want to do is obviously take our windage tray and pickup pipe off. Another thing with the EJ25, you want to check the pickup pipe because it's they do crack.
How's this one looking?
Doesn't seem to be cracked anywhere by the look of it. So now obviously getting into access to the back of the engine where we can obviously get access to the gudgeon pins at the back here for the two rear pistons. These two plates can be a bit of a pain taking off. Obviously sometimes they can round off because they're so small and they've been in there for so long. So what I like to do first is sort of flatten them off. Straight away. these round off a lot, so we managed to get one undone without them being rounded off. So what we'll have to do is there's a couple of things we can do. We can try and get a Torx bit in there and obviously use that instead, or what we can do is get a punch and hit it on the edge and try and spin it around with the punch and a hammer.
Lovely. What are we going to do?
Well, we can try and take these two off first. Now we've got the two plates off the back, we can access the gudgeon pins now to take off, release our pistons basically. So what we need to do is turn it over so that we can get access to the gudgeon pins. Now the gudgeon pins are out, what we can do is take all the casing bolts apart and basically split the block and expose everything. So here we are upon inspection of the piston. We have really bad cracked ring land here, so much that it's even damaged the ring. Very common for a 2.5. So what we're doing here now is we're just inspecting the mains bearings, sort of all appearing to look alright so far. So taking this one out here, another mains bearing, we can see it's deteriorating a little bit on the top of the bearing material. Same again there. Yeah, so we can see here the big end bearings obviously wearing quite a bit down to the copper. See the crank seems to be alright. Obviously across all cylinders the big end bearings are starting to show a bit of wear, but generally with these nitrided cranks they're pretty strong. So you can see here, so where number 2 ring lands were cracked, they have picked up on the bore and it has damaged it slightly, but it can come out, it's not a problem. And it's picked up on all of the bores really across all cylinders. That concludes today's video. Stay tuned for part 2.